You should always be asking questions about your brand strategy and how you want your brand to show up in the world. But if you're a founder or an internal marketing resource, you live and breathe the brand every day. So you might have blind spots. You might think your strategy is clear, but if your messaging is not resonating, there's something missing. Here's 3 quick frameworks to remedy that. The first one is to create your we would never brand list. This is essentially just a list of things your brand would never say, do, or associate with. For example, we would never expand into an adjacent category because we want to focus on what we do very well and nothing else. Or we would never chase trends on social media because we're not concerned with just getting engagement. Or we would never talk about our competitors because we don't want to give them free marketing. This works well because it creates clear boundaries on the no-nos, so you don't drift into random off-brand territory. Nothing will force brand clarity and messaging consistency like a do not touch list. The second thing you can do is a brand swap test. Take your written down brand core values and put your competitor's logo at the top. If it still makes sense, then your values are too generic. If it feels wrong, then you're on to something. Now, if your brand values are too generic, just dig a little deeper. Keep asking yourself, so what, until you get to a set of values that only your brand could own. This forces you to be very specific about the value that your brand brings instead of just saying what sounds good. Last exercise, ask yourself these 3 questions. What's missing in your industry that your customers wish existed? What is your audience tired of hearing from other brands? And if your brand disappeared tomorrow, what would people miss, if anything? Now, if you can't answer those questions, it's time to start talking to your customers more often. Now, if you can answer those questions, those answers are going to force you to create stronger, differentiated language versus just generic copycat messaging. So, if your brand strategy feels unclear, which is an easy trap to fall into, don't just brainstorm what you stand for. First, start off with what you would never do as a brand. Then, test if your values are actually unique. And then figure out what's missing in your space so your brand actually adds something new to the conversation.